Thousands of years ago, the Roman Empire was a great civilization, led by many different emperors over time. Some had good intentions and determined to better the Roman civilization, while some were insane, only wanting to use their power for their own selfish and socially destructive needs. While we explore Rome and the enormous amount of ancient history that lies here, we will discover who the Emperor Claudius was, what he did, and how it ultimately affected the future of the great Roman Empire. Hello, I'm Michael Wood, and I'll be taking a great adventure through Italy, and Rome specifically. While we're here, we will find a lot about Roman Emperor Claudius, including where he lived, where he ruled, and how his actions affected the Romans and their country. I'm so excited. We're back, learning a lot about Emperor Claudius. So, here we are with a Roman local. She's an expert on Emperor Claudius. She's going to tell us a lot about it. So, why don't you tell us a little bit about his early life and how he became emperor?
Alright, so Claudius was born in 10 BC, and he accidentally became emperor. Once he found out about the assassination of the current emperor of the time, he hid behind a curtain. And once someone found him and told him he was the new emperor, he totally went berserk. And it just shows that he was a lot of a coward. Like, he was lots of a coward. And it just made a really bad impression on him and on the city. So, he was born with a lot of disabilities. Some of the improvements he made were new trade routes, canals, and lots of buildings and structures. So he made a lot of temples and monuments to the gods.
And the British expedition. He led the expedition into Britain, and he was a pioneer in that area of the world for the Romans. So, and that's where I'm from. I'm Michael Wood. I'm British. I have an English accent.
Okay. Alright. And after his father died, his family was never the same again. And that just led to more and more hate against him, and his family was kind of against what he believed in and how he wanted to conduct his life.
He wasn't left alone in his family's will. They weren't really on his side. So they weren't nice to him. He was sad.
And one thing that we know is that he took a personal interest in law.
Liberal studies from an early age.
And he would judge the public trials, and he would issue lots of new rules and laws for the city of Rome, and about 20 of these a day. And it just drove the people mad. And even though his reign was very short, there were some things that people liked about him and some things that people didn't like about him. And that's what interested me and my family to discover the real story about him and pass it down from generation to generation.
How interesting. Well, we thank you for your knowledge about Emperor Claudius. He's been a great... So, could you tell us a little about Emperor Claudius?
Sure. Well, let me start with his love life, okay? Now, Emperor Claudius, he was a little bit unusual for the upperclassmen of Rome. You see, he dated men, and he dated boys. Wait, no. He did not date men, and he did not date boys. That was the unusual thing about him. Now, you see, Emperor Claudius, he had 4 marriages during his lifetime, but he had 6 engagements. The first one was to Aemilia Lepida, but, you see, that engagement was quickly called off. The second one, well, she was Livia Mendulini, but, you see, she mysteriously died on their wedding day. Now, his first actual wife was to Plautilla Virgilia. But he divorced her too. You see, she was accused of adultery, and she was also accused of killing her sister. So, after that, he married Aemilia Hentinia. Now, she gave birth to a girl, and her name was Claudia Antonia. But then he divorced her too. Why, you ask? Well,
Why? I'm asking.
Aemilia Hentinia. Now, she gave birth to a girl, and her name was Claudia Antonia. But then he divorced her too. Why, you ask? Well,
Why? I'm asking.
well, they divorced because of political reasons. It was too much for him to handle.
Too much.
Yes. Now, his third wife was actually his first cousin once removed.
Oh.
Yeah, exactly. So then, after that, they divorced too. Would you like to know why, Travis? Octavia. And then another one to a son who's later known as Britannicus. Now, his third wife, well, she also committed adultery. And she even got married to another guy while she was still married to the emperor. So once Emperor Claudius, once he found out, well, he executed both of them. And he promised that he would never, ever marry again. Now, that was shortly lived because he got married again to his fourth wife. Now, her name was Umbralia the Young. And she, well, I think she poisoned him, and then he died. What a lovely, lovely.
Gonna stop recording.